In today's video, I use some old spare parts, remove engine covers, I bend rotor blades to the correct shape. Also, I add new internal construction from styling profiles. I paint minor weathering, I try to drown Soviet roundless and accidentally remove helicopter tail. Hello fellow modelers, I have here mysterious box. Or not, it is just a box with old spare parts. I wanted to make this model 10 years ago, and as you can see I never finished it, so I will use at least some parts from it. The most interesting is that I want to achieve abandoned and crashed look, something like this but more damaged. So it will be a nice change and challenge. The old Hobby Boss kit does not have engine parts included, so I dissected engine guards from another unfinished Mi-24 helicopter made by Zvezda. So this model will be a combination of 3 kits. Okay, let's make this piece of scrap. I want to open interior doors between the cockpit and cargo. You can use a razor saw, but more precise is to drill many micro holes and then cut the part out. The parts have many pronounced ejector pin marks, therefore it is good to remove them with a sandpaper. I found excellent photo etch parts in the old kit. I can use them. The first hint of a crashed helicopter is destroyed instrument panel. I'm making the cover open with exposed wires. The internal details are almost zero, so adding rivet lines is a good idea. It's cutting time! I want to open cargo doors and engine covers, so I must perform a few precise cuts with a razor saw. I am making few deep cuts into the panel lines, because I want to preserve the parts. This kit is not prepared for modifications like this, therefore removing a lot of excess plastic is essential. Also, parts are thick, so it is good to thin them down with a micro grinder. I have a Proxon, but I modify it for low RPM. Otherwise the heat from friction will melt the plastic down easily. And there is more unnecessary plastic. It is shame, but Tamiya doesn't have a typical Soviet interior green. You can use instead this Model Master or Mr. Color 391. And more recycled parts from the old kit. I used Model Master paint, which is enamel based. Therefore I am painting weathering only with a water based acrylic paints. It is ordinary Vallejo paint with a lot of water. It doesn't look very good now, but it will create a lovely stains when it dries. Now I'm using the same paint but denser for more pronounced stains effect. If you want to make the surface even more damaged, you can paint some scratches. How to make broken windows? Easy. Smash plastic parts with a metal object. The fuselage fits relatively well, but there will be a lot of work with the empty engine section. Luckily, I found old broken Mi-24 helicopter in stash, so I removed all engine parts. It requires small adjustments because it doesn't fit precisely, but overall it is adequate replacement. I must create new internal construction from styrene profiles, and good for measuring shape is ordinary masking tape. It works like a template. Now it's pleasurable to cut out the needed shape. The exhaust pipes from the Mi-24 do not fit, so I am replacing them with larger ones from the Hobby Boss. Honestly, I expected more problems with this section, but it was relatively easy. Now I can add more details from styrene profiles and primarily LED wires. The LED wires are my favorite because they are cheap, nicely soft and easy to shape. I glue them with the ordinary super glue. I fix one end of the wire and then bend the rest to the needed shape. It took some time, but the overall result is 100% better. I think that is enough for 72 scale model. Of course, the real machine has 2 times more pipes and wires, but even now it looks authentic. The engine covers will be open, so creating new construction from the inside is suitable. I use for this purpose styrene profiles. Actually, I have only styrene boards of different thicknesses, and I cut the needed shapes from them. It is good to have a proper photo documentation. You can find many detailed pictures on Google. Another hint for the destroyed helicopter could be a broken windows. I use a sharp milling cutter. The plastic is relatively thick, so I am smoothing the edges with a cutter and extra thin glue. You may be asking, why all this damage? I want this model for another post-apocalyptic diorama. There will be a helicopter which accidentally hit power transmission tower with a tail and then crashed. Therefore, I want the tail cracked and hardly damaged. The easy way is to cut out the tail with a cutter. What a nice model it was. The important is to thin down plastic to minimal thickness. Then it will be easier to shape it and it will look more authentic, because the real helicopter cover is almost like a paper. it will be damaged helicopter, but still we must fill ugly seam lines with a putty. And then restore pan lines and make new rivet lines. You can make your own riveting wheel from old watch gears. The lighter is good tool if you want to destroy plastic parts or make a flattened tires. How to destroy propeller? I think if I cut out half of a blade and make the edge fragmented, it will look damaged enough. The main blade was more tricky, so I tried to bend it to different angles and make it break after hitting the ground. Does it look damaged? I think the paint job will help to make it even more convincing. The model will be abandoned in grass and partly underwater, therefore I decided on the white-blue Aeroflot scheme, which will make a nice color contrast. So why I'm spraying it with a Soviet green camouflage? Soviets used old army helicopters and repaint them for civil use. I want to make heavy chipping, so it will be cool to see old army camouflage under. I have for Aeroflot and Soviet scheme nice decals printed by Begemot. They are soft, so you can apply them directly on the matte surface. I am protecting and fixing the paint job with a layer of a clear lacquer varnish. Now I can freely paint winter camouflage, or someone calls it Aeroflot. I don't want one consistent layer, therefore I'm spraying white paint only on small areas at once. And the color is highly diluted, so it's partly transparent. The paint didn't adhere to the decals, but it doesn't matter because I will try to remove a top layer even on the rest of the surface. I didn't use any chipping varnish because masking with it is almost impossible. So instead I used a different technique: water and soft sandpaper. This way you can easily remove the top color camouflage layer and reveal the old one. Ouch, this is a piece of scrap. The chipping with a sandpaper is not very precise and more or less random, so you can repair shapes and make the paint more inconsistent with acrylic. The Aeroflot decals are large, and it was better to make the sketches before them. Important is to make the decals damaged with the sandpaper again. It is funny and satisfying to destroy the model this way. Okay, the model looks interesting, but I think it needs more shades. Primarily is missing brown and some deep shading. I am mixing my own wash from white spirit and oil paint. One stroke of a brush changes the whole look. This burnt umber shade is great for grease, accumulated rust or leaks. And I use oil paints because the drying time is very slow and you can repair the final effect if you are not satisfied with it. I do not want to separate the whole tail from the model, so there will be only a minor crack. However, what is still missing is internal construction, which I can create from LED wires. I know that it looks already quite abandoned, however, you can glue around and inside the engine dry leaves. This small detail will make the abandon feel even more intense. I look at some pictures of abandoned helicopters and they inspired me to make some shading and dirt around the engine more pronounced. I am cleaning more top paint layers with an aggressive Revel paint remover. You can achieve a lovely weathering effect if you do not apply it too much. Otherwise, you will dilute the paint to the base grey plastic. You ask many times for some crashed and damaged models, but I prefer warbirds and flyable shapes. Okay, some Soviet mechanics with a hammer and duct tape can disagree that it is not flyable shape. However, this model changed my mind slightly. It was something else, and I enjoyed building and painting it. The main inspiration for this model was Rowdy Flugzeugwerke, because he is creating crazy crashed artworks models. You can check out his work on Facebook. Anyway, I will make for this model also some dark mood diorama from Stalker, so I am looking forward. That is all for today. Thank you for watching and see you next time.